Johnny, a new season coming around, does that always come with a sense of excitement?
Yeah, definitely. I think potentially more so with this year. I think in some ways, obviously feeling as though we fell short on what we wanted to achieve last year, but I think having had time to reflect, it gives you opportunity that if we managed to do an unthinkable and did 5 in a row, human nature is you always want more again. I think having not got what we wanted and almost falling short gives you a chance to reflect and see what we'd achieved as a group, but also relieves a bit of pressure as well that I think we've carried as a group on our shoulders for quite a while now, which leads you into an exciting time where you're not there to be knocked off anymore. It gives you a bit more sense of freedom as a group and as a collective, and I think that sometimes can bring the best out of people, and that's why I feel as though it's an exciting time moving forward.
Are you one of these players that kind of tries to get away from it all and ignore it all in the off season, or do you spend that time sort of reflecting and reviewing what you've done?
No, I think I sometimes try to get away from it, but I'm a bit of a thinker, so sometimes can't help it comes to my mind. But yeah, I try and stay away from it where I can, and enjoy that family time. I think it's something that gets sacrificed quite a bit through the season. You kind of, no matter what you're doing, you're always kind of thinking, oh, got to do this right, got to do this, got to do that, and all of a sudden, again, it's a sense of freedom to go and enjoy that, and in some ways just be a dad, which is a really nice thing to do.
You mentioned
and a husband on that.
You mentioned that it's a bit different coming into this, having not being champions. Is it a different mentality being the chasers rather than the ones being chased? I
feel as though different mentality might be. I'm not so sure, because I think when everyone goes back to pre-season, they come with the same mindset. They go into pre-season, they set out the same goals. They want to be involved in the big games. They want to win things, and they want silverware at the end of the year. And I think that's how every team approached every year. But I certainly do feel that there's probably a bit less pressure in some ways. Like I said, I think it's an exciting time because to have carried that title for a while, it does come with added pressure. It probably does come with a bit more added scrutiny. Teams gunning for you week in, week out. It almost feels like every game is a bit more of a final. That everyone's going to bring the best, and you wouldn't expect anything less, as I say. But that's what's coming, and so you've got to get up for it week in, week out. And as I say, you're there to be knocked off. I think as a chaser, the pressure's a bit relieved almost. It gives you a bit of that sense of freedom, and as I say, you can be in the chaser. Yeah, I suppose, like you say, it does give that freedom and give you a bit of a release.
And when you, as a team, kind of collectively lose the experienced heads that you have now coming to this season, does that kind of change the dynamic of your role a little bit in terms of leadership and maybe having to kind of take more of that onto your shoulders?
To be fair, it probably doesn't change my role so much. Obviously, losing them quality players and quality people, we will operate in that as well. I think you lose that quality of person. Sometimes it's not just about the player and what they do. You lose that quality of the person. Obviously, there is going to be effect on that. I feel for myself a bit different, that I obviously probably spent the longest time with Robes in terms of playing years than anybody else, any other teammate that he's had. So probably my kind of almost being his, I suppose, right-hand man in some ways is kind of I've always been in and around them conversations, that type of leadership that we've had at the club. So it probably doesn't change too much for dynamic. Certainly not that I've seen as of yet. I don't know how that'll change moving forward, but yeah, as a group I think we've got a good core leadership that has been developed on quality people that you just alluded to there, which should set us up quite nicely moving forward. At the end of the day, you I suppose end up with being a reflection of the people that you respect, and obviously we all had high respect for the lads that you've mentioned leaving, and I think that when you have that respect, you want to reflect them, you want to bring their best values and traits forward, and I think that's why as a group we have been quite successful over the last few years, because we've had good people in and around at the top of it that have carried on with their philosophies.
Well, best of luck this season, mate.
Cheers, thank you.